Over the last 2 years, we've gotten more phone calls, more emails on the topic of bullying than we ever have. Our country right now is being riddled with bullying. Every school, private school, public schools are dealing with this topic. Paul Coughlin has one of the best programs we've found out there, not only in engaging assembly, staff development, parent education, but his curriculum called The Protectors is amazing.
The Protectors helps organizations diminish bullying, but it does so much more. It provides profound character development, leadership development, and it can work literally for a person's entire life.
His whole philosophy is, how do we bring courage back into the classroom, back into the school? How do we turn that bystander into a come alongside stander?
When we mistake reporting for tattling, we are being the bully's tool. You're being used by another person.
Students today don't know to do that. They've lost that character quality called courage. Paul's program brings that back.
Leave him alone. 4 words anyone could say.
Schools and other organizations that work with youth, they have a lot of choices when it comes to an anti-bullying or freedom from bullying program. One of the things that makes the Protectors unique is we have found a missing piece in what we call the theater of bullying. Most kids don't really need to be told bullying is wrong. Studies show that they already know it's wrong when they see it, in most cases, most of the time. You can be an often passive bystander, or you can be a hero and be an alongside stander. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This heroic They often feel great sympathy and empathy for the target, but what they don't do is they don't act. Only about 13% of bystanders actually support the target. 40 to 60% actually join the bully in the attack in one form or another. So what we do with the Protectors is when people know something's wrong and they feel that it's wrong, but they fail to act as if it's wrong, in most cases, most of the time, it's a lack of courage. It's a lack of strength of doing the right thing, often afraid. So we grow the courage in your entire student body. And when we do that, we get that student, that bystander, to become what we call an alongside stander with assertive but nonviolent behavior. But it does so much more than that, because courage is the virtue that underpins all other virtues. So when we grow the courage in your student body, we grow their capacity for character, their capacity for leadership, and we also grow their capacity for academic performance. Low self-esteem is found among the victims of bullies, but not among bullies themselves. Most serial bullies have average to excessive self-esteem. They don't feel bad about themselves on average. You would be surprised how many people who work with youth have no real training when it comes to bullying. I've been a coach for about 15 years, 8 of those as a boys varsity soccer coach. I'm also on a board of trustees for a private school. And I remember when I first started coaching, I couldn't spot bullying to save my life. Well, that's the case with many, many teachers. So we provide faculty training for your school. We work with your students to help them become what we call alongside standers. And then we leave the school with a 2-part curriculum. One curriculum is for the entire student body. And then the second curriculum is, it's kind of like a varsity squad against the bullying. It's called the Protectors Freedom Council. And it's for the people within that organization that get it. They want to change this growing problem. And it's probably the only club on a school's campus where you can flex moral or ethical courage. Our parent nights, I love when we have parent nights. We also call them community nights, because many schools will open it up to just members of the community, sometimes clergy, business leaders, people who work with youth. And I get the opportunity to really dispel a number of myths about bullying and provide clarity for that entire community, which is essential. We need to get the entire community on the same page as best as we possibly can. We go through the myths, we go through practical advice, things that they can implement that night with their child. There is not one piece of evidence in Jared's school that online one classmate came to his defense online.
There's not one piece of evidence that suggests that someone went online and said, hey, I know him, that's not right, leave him alone.
20 years ago, when someone was bullied, they had a safe haven. They could come home after school and be with their family. Today, cyberbullying goes on 24/7, and many kids can't take it. So Paul Coughlin, his program will not only give teens the courage to stop cyberbullying, but to recognize it when they see it, how to respond to it, what to do with that, and how to have healthy boundaries when it comes to dealing with social media.